Richard, to you, man. Appreciate it as always. Lucas Coley, that's kind of the big football news of the morning. He has entered the transfer portal. I think Tommy and I are under the impression that he just kind of saw the writing on the wall with KJ Malik, even Cade Forden getting some love from Sam Pittman in the offseason. What did you make of his decision that he announced yesterday?
You got me?
Now we do.
Oh, okay. I wasn't totally surprised. I guess maybe if I was a little bit surprised, it's because of is in the middle of spring practice. But I think, I kind of heard some rumblings that it was a possibility, and but I was thinking it might be after spring practice. But sometimes you make a decision and you think it's the right one, and I'm sure the Arkansas coaches still think that it's the right one for him, but evidently he doesn't think so, and he's going to obviously explore other avenues.
Richard, one of the things that Tommy pointed out to me is I know Landon Rogers had moved to tight end and now was listed as wide receiver. Do you expect Rogers to be put back in the quarterback room as of yesterday, basically?
I guess you never rule it out, but I think he'll probably stick at receiver. I think from what I understand, he's made some progress there. He's a big target. I think he could contribute there, especially in the red zone, as big as he is and as athletic as he is. And you may not remember, he was very physical as a quarterback at Parkview. He would just run over guys. Mm-hmm. So I think he's a guy that could see the field next year and definitely in the future because of his athletic ability and his size. I think he's there to stay. But again, they may look at the numbers and say, yeah, we need to move him back over there, at least for right now.
So do you hit the portal? Do you find someone? Do you cross your fingers and ride it out? What's the next move? What's your prediction of the next move by Kendal Briles and Sam Pittman and this staff?
No, I don't think they'll go the portal way. I think that they like what they got right now on campus, and I think what that does do maybe makes the possibility of signing, and it's just me talking, signing two guys from the high school ranks in the 23 class. I think that's probably a more possibility. But again, if there's a quarterback that you really think could help you, but the problem is that quarterback want us? He's going to see the writing on the wall with KJ. KJ, no one's going to beat KJ out. So if you're a portal guy, you're looking for pretty quick PT time. So I think it could be a tough sell.
Yeah, Hornsby's your number 2, but he's going to play some at wide receiver. We brought up Landon Rogers. You got Renfro. So now, what do you do now? Just to conduct and hold practice. We were talking about scout team earlier, and we're a ways off from really that being a big deal in August. But you've got to have someone that's serviceable just to give the defense good looks, and normally that is your third or fourth quarterback in a lot of cases. But do you have that luxury this year? I'm just interested in how all these moving pieces and parts get put together, and because we've seen the day where 3 quarterbacks get injured in one game.
No, you're right, and that's the scary part about not having enough numbers at the quarterback position. But I think with what they got on campus, and then you got the South Florida quarterback supposed to be coming in this summer. I think that gives you a little bit more comfort there because he started a game or two for South Florida, and he's been under the center in game-like conditions. So I think he's one to keep an eye on.
Might not be a bad idea to cruise by the intramural fields at some point later this summer.
Yeah, they did it in the past, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Richard, basketball-wise, got a lot of news out of that front as well. Mitchell brothers, I know the 6'9", 6'10" immediately stands out to fans. What do you like about the incoming Mitchell brothers and what they can bring to the table?
No, obviously more size, but they're known for defense. Their defensive side of the defensive side. Both of them rated according to one analytic guy that does analytics on defense has them number 3 and number 7 in the portal as far as defensive impact, and that's a promising stat because Arkansas, Jalen Williams blocked some shots and they had some blocked shots, but I think these two guys have given them a little bit more ability to block shots on a consistent basis. They averaged 2.4 blocks and 1.4 blocks a game last year for Rhode Island, and then obviously throw in Briles from Missouri. He's another guy who can alter shots, and so you're going to see. If you really think about it, and I'm not going to say that these guys are equivalent to what Nolan Richardson had with Darnell Robinson and Lee Wilson and Dwight Stewart and all that, but you're going to see a lineup to where if he wants to go big, he can go big next year, and there's going to be depth for guys at those positions, and that's something that since Coach Musselman's been there, he really hasn't had, but he's going to have next year.
Richard, I think about this upcoming battle that they'll be facing with Duke in the recruiting rankings, where Duke holds the number 1. They've got 3 5-star committed. The top 3 players, according to certain recruiting service, 4-star, and then some other things. But when you look at what they're adding in the transfer portal, and I know you got to kind of factor that in nowadays as well, is this potentially, in your eyes, could you think it could surpass Duke as the number 1 recruiting class in the country?
I don't know what to be honest with Duke, I don't even know if they go into the portal, do they? I'm not going to lie to you. If you combine the two with the signing class and then what you get out of the portal, it'd be kind of hard to dismiss Arkansas having the best haul for this year. But that's a good question. I don't even know what they do as far as the portal. I'm not going to lie to you.
I want to go back to something you said a minute ago about constructing the lineup, and then something Coach Musselman said that he got from his late father, that, hey, if in doubt, just go with the biggest, most athletic guys you've got and put them on the floor. That might be hard to figure out which of the 5, the most athletic and the biggest. I think some of these preseason practices and what leads up to the first games in November, that could be fun watching to see some of those 5-on-5 matchups, and a lot of athleticism. But that was kind of his default position earlier this year.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be fun to watch, and we talked about this a week or so ago. You could sell a lot of popcorn at those practices if you had open practices, because the excitement levels to a different level, and you're going to have so many options next year that we haven't seen something like this in quite some time, probably since the Nolan Richardson. And as far as the number of guys that could come off the bench, does Coach Musselman alter his 7-8 man rotation and go to 8 or 9 or even more? Only time will tell. But he's definitely going to have the capability of using a lot of different combinations.
Yeah. In football, we pay attention to a couple of classes out and, who the 22s are and we're at this point in the 23s and even the 24s, and start watching players, as early as the 8th grade in some cases right now. Who's that next wave in basketball, particularly in-state, some names that our listeners should be noting this morning? Because in basketball, we do a little bit less kind of advanced looks on recruiting, but I think it's important to see if this momentum can hold in the future. Who are some names on your list for down the road in the next recruiting cycle out of high school for Eric Musselman?
Well, the 24 class is probably going to be the one that kind of has the more of the high-profile guys. You're looking at Botain from Little Rock Central. Love that guy. About 6'5", about 205 pounds. He looks like a guy that could be in college right now from a physical standpoint. Good game, outstanding athletic ability. Dallas Thomas from Little Rock Parkview, 6'7", 6'8". I mean, both of those guys have Arkansas offers, and guys that will should be seeing their stock rise this spring and summer, playing spring and summer basketball. But I think the 24 class, if you had to pinpoint one class that has a chance to to be one of the above average classes, it'd be that one.
Richard, we'll leave it there, man. Appreciate you joining us this morning, and we will talk to you next week. Might even get some more Arkansas basketball news the way this transfer portal's working.
Hey, man, believe me, that's a big possibility. So yeah, you're right. It's crazy. Coach Musselman and his staff, that's a machine.
Yeah. All right, Richard. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys, we'll see you.
All right, Richard Davenport, Whole Hog Sports, and the Arkansas Democrat Gazette with us on a recruiting Thursday.
Is your number one source for all your betting needs, sports info, and odds. Find all the latest sports developments, including this week's odds for the Masters Championship and the start of Major League Baseball season. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so join today. Learn why everyone is saying BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on popular sports and games. Bet online, where the game starts.